Alright, this is translating and evaluating verbal expressions into algebraic expressions. When we're talking about verbal, we just mean it comes to us in words and we need to change it into equations or expressions with numbers and variables. So we have our keywords, which you guys have probably heard about before, to tell us what operations we need to do. So for the operation addition, our keywords are sum, plus, total, more than, or increased by. Any of these let us know that we need to do addition. So for example, if we see the sum of 2 and a number x, I know because I have this sum right here that I need to do addition. So first of all, notice that they're giving it to me in this verbal phrase, and I need to write it as an algebraic expression. There's always going to be in all of these pretty much a variable, and the variable is described like this: a number x. So they're telling me that x is going to be my variable. So I always start with the variable, and so I write my x just like I did right there. Now I have the sum of 2 and a number x. Well, since it's sum, it's going to be addition, and it tells me that I'm going to add 2 and x, and that gives me the sum of 2 and a number x. Down here, a number n plus 7. Well, a number n, that means my variable is going to be n plus 7. Boom. Alright. These are my keywords for subtraction here. If they say difference, if they say less or less than, and there's an important difference there we'll see in a second, minus or decreased by, this all means subtraction. So for example, the difference of a number n and 6. Well, let me start with a number n. That means that's my variable. Since they're talking about difference, I know it's subtraction, and it says difference between a number n and 6. So that means I do n minus 6. Sometimes it's hard to get the order right for subtraction. If they're talking about the difference of a number n and 6, number n would be first, just like it's written over here. The next example is something that always confuses people, the next two examples actually. So let's read them both real quick and notice the difference. The first one says six less a number y. The second one says 6 less than a number y. So the difference here is this less than as opposed to just a less. Alright, so here's the way it works for these. First of all, I know my variable is going to be y, and 6 less a number y means I start with 6 and I less it by a number y. So that would be 6 minus y. Look at the difference with the next one. Again, I start with a number y, but this time it's saying 6 less than a number y. So 6 less than y means I need to start with y and subtract 6 from it. This is the more common version, but everybody always gets that confused with this other version right here. So make sure you understand the difference there. Okay, so our keywords for multiplication are times, product, multiplied by, or of. And let's look at those. The product of 12 and a number y. So I got my number y, or my variable y. Since it's talking about product, I know that's multiplication, and so I'm multiplying by 12. So I could write that like this, but since it's a number and a variable, it's going to be easier for me to write it like this. Alright, and the next one, 1/3 of a number x. Here's my variable, write that, and 1/3 of that variable, that x, means I need to multiply it by 1/3. So 1/3 times x. Alright, the last one, division. Our keywords are quotient, divided by, or divided into. So the quotient of a number k and 2, here's my number k, that's my variable, and the quotient of k and 2 means I'm going to divide k by 2. So just like subtraction, the order is important with division. When they're talking about the quotient of two things, the quotient of a number k and 2, we divide the first one by the second one. So I divided the first one, number k, by 2.